Ever catch yourself thinking, I could do this on my own? If you're a safety officer with real-world skills, you don't have to wait for permission to build your freedom. On Saturday, January 31st, I'm hosting Safety Consultant 101, a free live workshop. In 2 hours, I'll help you package your expertise into a service clients will pay for and set pricing boundaries so you don't get stuck doing free advice forever. Register now at safetyconsultant101.com. Let's build your freedom.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
We learn that people slip, it's only human. Errors show the path to grow and we're improving. Context shapes the way we do our best work. Focus on the system, no blame can hold us back. 5 principles lifting us higher. Learning without blame, fueling our fire. Together we grow, together we thrive. Keeping operational excellence alive.
Welcome to Season 7 and the 136th episode of the podcast show, Hop into Action. I am your host, Brent Sutton. Imagine you are standing at the trailhead of a dense forest. It is pitch black. You have to get a critical package from here to the summit. It's a high-risk journey. One slip could be life-changing. In your hand, you have a map. In the safety world, we call this explicit knowledge. It is precise. It is codified. It is linear. It is the black line of workers imagined. It tells you exactly where the path should be and how to navigate safely. But you also have a companion. Let's call her the guide. She's been walking this trail for 30 years. She doesn't look at the map anymore. She possesses what researchers call tacit knowledge, a wisdom that lives in her muscles and nerves, not just her head. She knows how to walk the path, not because she memorized the coordinates, but because her body remembers the feeling of the terrain. You start walking, the map says the trail is straight and flat, but 10 minutes in, the guide stops you. She points to a patch of ground that looks perfectly solid on your map. Don't step there, she says. Underneath those leaves, the rain washed out the soil last Tuesday. It's a trap. This is a latent failure, an undetected hazardous condition poised to trigger harm. Your map doesn't show it because the map was drawn 6 months ago. The guide knows it because she walks the blue line work is done every day. She survives using worker defences, those informal tricks and habits she's developed to stay safe in the gap between the rules and reality. Further up the trail, the guide tilts her head. Stop, she whispers. Do you hear that low hum? The wind changed. You hear nothing but background noise. To you, it's irrelevant, but to her, it is a weak signal. It's a subtle indicator that a storm is coming or that the system is drifting toward failure. Because of her experience, she can translate that weak signal into a strong warning. She knows that when the wind hits that specific pitch, the cliff edge becomes unstable. But here is the problem: the emerging or unrecognized risk facing our high-risk industries today. The guide is retiring. Her knowledge is exiting the organization. She hands you the map. She pats you on the shoulder. She says, good luck. Follow the procedures. Stay on the black line. And then she's gone. This is the moment of organizational amnesia. The organization thinks it has captured the work because it has the map, the procedures, but it has lost the memory of how the work is actually done.
We are taking a break to share a message with you. If you're like me, you've probably heard the buzz about AI and wondered, can I trust it with my data? Will it undermine human judgment? Those are valid questions. That's exactly why Hop Copilot is built the way it is. Hop Copilot agents operate on Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft 365 Copilot protects your organizational data, user prompts, and responses. Your data is stored securely and remains within trusted boundaries. In Hop Copilot, ethics and people stay at the center. Use the work design and error trap analysis agent to find risky ambiguities without pointing fingers. Use the 4Ds or 4Ls worker insights agent to bring out what the front line sees. When an incident occurs, the event learning storyboard agent helps you learn with fairness and clarity. If you've doubted AI, that's okay. But imagine an AI that amplifies human wisdom, never replacing it, where your values guide every decision, and where your data is protected. That's what Hop Copilot offers. So here's what you can do now. Go to hopcopilot.com, see those agents in action. Try the free event learning storyboard or schedule a conversation about bringing the full platform into your work. Let's create safer, smarter change. Together, Hop Copilot. Where people lead, AI supports, trust follows. Now back to the podcast.
Now, a new hiker joins you, a new worker. They are bright, eager, and compliant. They have studied the map. They know every rule by heart. The new hiker walks confidently toward that patch of leaves. You want to warn them, but you don't know why it's dangerous. You never felt the washout yourself. You only watch the guide step around it. The new hiker doesn't have the risk perception to see the danger. They step on the leaves. The ground gives way. This isn't an act of carelessness. This wasn't a mistake or an error of the new worker. They weren't breaking any golden rules. It isn't non-compliance. The hiker was following the map perfectly. They fell because they were working in the grey space, that area of uncertainty between the residual risk we plan for and the reality of the daily work. So, how do we save the hiker? How do we transfer the guide's wisdom before she leaves? We cannot just photocopy the map. Tacit knowledge is difficult to articulate. As the philosopher Michael Polanyi said, we know more than we can tell. You can't write down the feel of a slippery rock. We have to move from mapping the process or observing the work. We need to move from checking to storytelling. We need to use storytelling frameworks like the 4Ls. Before the guide leaves, she and the hiker must walk the trail together many times. They need to share and pause before the hike, during the hike, and after the hike. We need to be curious about the work. We need to understand what she likes about the work, where she believes the system is lacking, i.e., what doesn't make sense, frustrates her, makes the work risky or challenging, where the work is hard or demanding, and also what is changing or surprising. We also want to know what she longs for that would allow her collective wisdom to make a difference. And lastly, what learnings we can pass from the guide to her replacement. By capturing that tacit knowledge in a way that we turn socialization into a safety tool. We transfer the story of the accident that happened 8 years ago so we don't repeat it. We turn the background noise into a clear signal. Don't get me wrong, the map is important, but the map's not the territory. To survive the dark trail, we need the stories, the scars, and the wisdom of our guides. We need to honour the blue line of work is done, and we need to listen to the people who know where the loose rocks are buried. Because in the end, safety isn't just about following the path. It's about knowing what to do when the path disappears. Your goal is not just to transfer the procedure, but to transfer the intuition, the ability to hear the twig snap in the dark and know exactly what it means. If this podcast resonated with you, or if you're worried about your aging workforce, or you're losing experienced workers and recruiting new workers, this risk of tacit knowledge is here now. Learning from work will become vital in changing tacit knowledge from a threat to an opportunity for your organisation. Is it easy? The answer is no. Do you need a plan? I will leave that with you to decide. In closing, let us make 2026 a year of positive change by learning and improving for better work.
We are taking a break to share a message with you. Maybe you've heard the promises of AI and wondered, can I trust it with safety, with quality, with my data? I get it. So let me show you a real example. With Plod.ai Note-Taker and Hop Copilot's field-based work insights, you can capture what's happening on the ground, worker conversations, the everyday doesn't make sense, dangerous, difficult, and different moments. These aren't polished reports. They're real voices, real insights. For instance, a team doing shift handover uses a Plod Note device. The note-taker agent listens in, captures the conversations, transcribes them, and then summarizes them under the 4 Ds and 4 Ls framework. It might pick up that someone said, "We didn't have enough lighting in the stairwell. We tripped over hose reels. The emergency latch isn't clear." Those get categorized. Dumb, dangerous, difficult, different. Learnings and potential improvements are surfaced. And yes, while this is AI-powered, human judgment remains central. You review, you validate, you decide. Ethical AI designed so people are always in control. On top of that, Hop Copilot agents run on Microsoft 365 Copilot, which keeps your data secure. User prompts and responses are protected. None of your internal data is used to train public models. So, for those skeptical of AI, wondering if it's hype or risk, this one turns voice into value. If you care about safety, clarity, and learning, Hop Copilot with Plod agents gives you tools like the Learning from Work Insights agent, critical control insights, work design, and error trap analysis. Here's what you can do. Visit hopcopilot.com. Explore the Plod Note-Taker agents. Try the free version of the Event Learning Storyboard, or book a chat with us about bringing the full suite into your team. Let's build safer, smarter work together, where AI serves humans, not the other way around. Now back to the podcast.
Thanks so much for joining me on this journey with Hop into Action. I've loved sharing stories, ideas, and practical ways to do safety differently with you. Your support and curiosity are what make this community so strong, and I want to thank you for being part of it. If you're ready to keep building capability, capacity, and resilience, I'd encourage you to check out the Hop Beginner's Guide series on Amazon. Each volume is short, practical, and packed with insights, and the book series is designed for busy people who want real impact, not theory. This isn't the end of the conversation, just the next step in your journey. So thank you again for listening, for learning, for supporting better work. Until next time, remember, small changes, shared stories, and thoughtful practice lead to big results.
Ever catch yourself thinking, I could do this on my own? If you're a safety officer with real-world skills, you don't have to wait for permission to build your freedom. On Saturday, January 31st, I'm hosting Safety Consultant 101, a free live workshop. In 2 hours, I'll help you package your expertise into a service clients will pay for and set pricing boundaries so you don't get stuck doing free advice forever. Register now at safetyconsultant101.com. Let's build your freedom.